Okay, in this video, I want to continue building individual supply schedules and solve a past paper at the same time. In this past paper, the schedule shows the short-run marginal cost of producing good X. Again, short run means that there are fixed costs and there are variable costs. In the long run, there are no fixed costs. Okay, so again, I took the units of X and I put them here. Quantity, uh, 1, the marginal cost is 40. I put this quantity equal to 0 because I want to say the fixed cost is equal to 20 when we didn't produce anything yet. Fixed cost is 20 no matter what quantity we produce. And we need that to get the total cost. So given the total fixed cost is $20 here, what is the level of output that minimizes average total cost? So again, I copied this table, I put it here. Every quantity, the fixed cost will be 20. And this is a graph of the marginal cost curve here that correspond with this information. The next thing that we need is, again, we need to calculate the total cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost. We have the total cost when the quantity is 0. That's 20, which is equal to fixed cost. Then we add 20 plus 40 to see what is the new total cost after a 1 unit increase in quantity. That's 40. So again, so we have 60 here. When we increase from 1 to 2, the marginal cost increases 30. So then we have 60 from here plus the marginal cost of 30 equals 90, and so on. We fill out the table. For the variable cost, we just subtract the total cost here. 20 plus 40 gives me this 60 here, minus the fixed cost at each quantity. And then, so that, because total cost equals fixed cost plus variable cost, so variable cost is equal to total cost minus fixed cost. So this is the total cost here coming from here, and this is the total cost minus fixed cost at the quantity of 1. And then we continue down and get the fill in the rest of the table. Average variable cost is simply the uh, is very simple. It's the variable cost divided by the quantity. So 40 divided by 1 is 40. 70 divided by 2 is 35. 100 divided by the quantity of 3 is 33.3. That's the special case because we're looking for the minimum average variable cost, and that is the special one that we look for. We'll get to that. And 40, 56. Average total cost is the same thing, except we look at the average of the total cost, which is 60 divided by, which is the total cost, which is 60 divided by 1, which gives me 60. Then it's 90 divided by 2 gives me 45, and so on. So the answer to this question, the multiple choice question, says, given the cost of $20, what level of output minimizes average total cost? We look at our average total cost, we find the minimum value of 40, and then we find the corresponding quantity that goes along with that. So the answer to this question is B, 3 units. That's the minimum average total cost. Now we need to look at the minimum average variable cost to calculate what quantity that the quantities that this firm will produce. Remember, 2 conditions. The firm will not produce additional quantity if the price is not increasing, and also it needs to cover its variable cost. So the price needs to be at least as high as the minimum average variable cost. So this is a graph of each one of these. This gray curve here represents the average total cost. The orange curve here represents the average variable cost. And there are CIE exam questions that require you to label each of these. So this last curve is the marginal cost curve that came from here. This is the average variable cost, which is the orange one, and the gray, of course, is the average total cost. Okay, so now we look at the quantities and we look at the marginal cost changing, and we use this average variable cost. So when the quantity increases from 0 to 1 and then increases again from 1 to 2, we notice that the cost in terms of price is falling. So we know the firm is not willing to produce quantities 1 or 2. Here, as we move from 2 to 3, the quantity is equal. Actually, the price, the cost in terms of price is equal, the same here. So, okay, now we apply our second condition that says the firm will produce when price is equal to average variable cost here. So the uh, yeah, so this blue line represents the average total cost. I need another highlighted blue to talk about here. So the firm is willing to produce from the minimum AVC and onward. So this new green line here, it is where price in terms of cost is equal to or greater than the average variable cost. So here at 33.3, this is still larger than the 30 in terms of cost and price, cost per price. So here, the average variable cost is smaller than the cost in terms of price here. So the firm is only going to be willing to produce 4 and 5 and won't produce anything else. So in this last slide, using this condition, price has to be greater than or equal to average variable cost. I display the curve here where the firm produces 4 and 5 units, and this is the marginal cost. Finally, this is a supply curve where supply equals the marginal cost. And I put 2, which means it just means that the subscript 2 means it's the second firm. So we're going to keep building individual supply schedules, and then we're going to sum them to create a market supply schedule. But for now, this is the supply equal to the marginal cost of the second firm. Thank you.